Hey there, welcome back to Coding at Home with the Code Hub. Hey, today we have something a little bit different. We've spent a lot of our time going over Everyone Can Code puzzles, where we explored Swift playgrounds and went through the Learn to Code 1 and 2 playgrounds. Then we went on to Lights Camera Code, which was another set of playgrounds that used a lot of our foundational knowledge from those earlier playgrounds and built on them. And we built a camera app. We went even further with that when we got to Assemble Your Camera. That's another playground that we were playing with. We took a little diversion, kind of inspired by the Swift Student Challenge for WWDC 2020. And we built our own app with using the App at Home playground that we provided from the Code Hub. And we've done a lot of coding. We've had a lot of experience now. We've organized our code pretty well to build our own game. We've learned about classes and functions and for loops and while loops and everything. Now we're going to take a look at something else that we can do with our iPads and with code as well. So today it's going to be mostly a download kind of day. And tomorrow we're going to get a lot more hands-on. But today we're going to take a look at three different downloads. The first is going to be inside Swift Playgrounds, where we're pretty familiar with it. And we're going to be playing around with a thing called Augmented Reality. Hopefully you've heard of Augmented Reality by now. It basically just means we're going to have a view onto our surroundings through our phone's camera or our iPad's camera, and we'll be able to place objects there. And they'll stay stationary in the environment and in the picture that we've taken, and we'll be able to move around them as if they were real objects placed there on the table, on the floor, on the wall. Because with ARKit, which is Apple's framework for doing augmented reality, it can detect things like planes. So a flat surface horizontally, a flat surface on the wall. It can detect things like faces or other objects. And we're going to play around over the next few sessions with this kind of stuff. All right, so without further ado, let's hop over to the iPad and check it out. All right, so we're going to go where we usually go in these kind of sessions. We're going to open up Swift Playgrounds. There's our congratulations message from yesterday. We finished Assemble Your Camera. And we will be moving on to flashy photos, but we're going to take a little detour now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to More Playgrounds and choose See All. And you can see here in the challenges, we have an augmented reality challenge. Now, these are all intermediate. The other stuff that we did, like rock, paper, scissors, we did a bit with spirals. Those were beginner. If we look at the level for Assemble Your Camera, for flashy photos, those are intermediate as well. So now we're getting into the slightly more difficult stuff. But a lot of it's going to seem very familiar to you because we've gone through a lot of the beginner stuff, and it'll apply to these intermediate playgrounds. So what we're going to do is we're going to tap on Augmented Reality. We're going to hit Get to start downloading it. Now, all we're going to do with this playground is we're just going to show you. The goal is to get it onto your iPad so that you're set up and ready to go. So I'm going to use this Augmented Reality Copy 3. It gives us a little bit of an explanation about what is augmented reality. And we can even tap, just like with the other playgrounds, we can tap on augmented reality and it gives us a little explanation here. Technology that superimposes a computer-generated image on a user's view of the real world. So we're going to use those camera views that we were using before that showed us that the image that the back camera could see. And we're going to composite an image that we of our choosing, or a scene of our choosing, onto that image so it looks like it's really there. All right, so we have some models, some sounds, feature points. All we're going to do is run this. We're not going to write any code today in Swift Playgrounds. We're just going to run this thing. It says there's a function called do something whimsical. Well, let's find out what that is. Let's hit run my code. It's going to ask me if I can have access to the camera, which I will let it. And now it's not saying anything because I am sitting down and the iPad is on the table. So here, let's stand up and let's take a look at our desk. So now, all those little dots is the augmented reality component of ARKit detecting flat surfaces in the image in front of it. So it can look over here, it can detect some points on the windowsill over there. You can see we've got kind of a messy desk over here. All right, so what we'll do is tap anywhere to place. So I placed the lemon there. It's kind of floating in midair. I can walk around it, over it. I can even, well, try to get under it, but that's not going to happen here. So now I can hit this button. Oops, not that button. I can hit this button up here that says Start Scene. Well, it would help if I actually place my object. So hold on, let's try that again. Let's run my code. All right, we're going to detect the surface. We're going to tap there on the desk to place it. And we're going to tap the Start Scene button. And so they've built this 3D model that animates itself and rotates around and drips lemon juice. And I can move around and explore it, and then it disappears. Now there's a couple other things. We'll get into this actual code in a little bit. And we'll have a ton of fun working through our augmented reality scenes. It's a bit like if you played Pokemon Go, or if you've done any of those challenges before, or you've seen the Wanna Kicks app where you can try on your shoes before you buy them. It basically operates, it's all the same principle. So that's the playground that we're going to use over the next few sessions when we're dealing with augmented reality. But we're also going to deal with some other apps. So there's an application out there called AR Maker that's an excellent introduction to augmented reality. It's a fully fledged app. It's free. If you go to the App Store, we're going to go to the search bar and we're going to search for AR Maker. And just like any good programmer, they skipped out a letter. You know, remember, we're a bit lazy, so anywhere we can not have to type letters, we'll do so. So we're going to download AR Maker. If you haven't ever downloaded it before or purchased it before, it's free. It should just say get for you. So that's going to download. The other application we're going to grab, you can see I have it here. It's called Reality Composer. So while we're waiting for that to download, what we're going to search for on the store is Reality Composer. And you can see it auto-completes there in the search. And here it is. If I tap on this, we can see that it's an app from Apple that will actually let us build augmented reality scenes that we can then use in our applications. So if you don't have this already, I'm not going to tap open because I don't want to open it yet. You can tap get and download it. This is another free app. Now I'm going to go back. Let's go back to the desktop here, the home screen, and you can see I have AR Maker downloaded. If I tap and open that up, it's going to tell me that it's a creative toolbox for augmented reality. This is a huge hit in classrooms. If you're a teacher, this is a really fun tool to use to explore different concepts, to explore fiction and make fictional characters come to life. Really great tool. So you can see we can sketch on the world around us. We can take pictures of the scenes that we've created. We can create 3D objects, and we can place them around the world. So let's go. We'll accept their policy without reading through it, which is not what you should do. All right, so if we hit start, it's going to ask us, hey, we'd like access to the camera. We'll say yes. So we have a few starter templates. Now we'll get into maybe creating our own artwork to use later on. But what we're going to do is we're just going to start with one of their starter templates, the Mythical Creatures one. This is really nice because they give us sort of preloaded images to use. So if you're not an artist, maybe like me, this is really handy because it'll give you some cool artwork to work with. All right, so we'll move the iPad around. It's detected the surface. We need to move the iPad so that the camera is sending enough data to the code for it to figure out, oh, okay, that's a flat plane. Well, saw another one on the chair. My table looks like it extends pretty far. All right, so let's create our scene up here on the table. So now once I tap on that, now it's looking a little bit funky. Maybe it hasn't captured it exactly perfectly. Let me add somebody up there. I'm just going to add this guy. And you can see he's got his little target place. I'm going to add, that's going to show where he's going to be added. I can pinch to make him bigger or smaller. I'm going to make him pretty small because I haven't got a ton of space there. I'm going to place him there. Once I place him, then my little Yeti is going to cast a shadow. And he's going to remain roughly on my desk. And I can give him some friends. Maybe this guy's kind of cool. Maybe he's a bit bigger. We're going to place him over there.